I didn't mean for success to look like secrecy, but that's how it happened. Not because I was hiding anything, more because no one asked in a way that felt safe to answer. At 19, my life narrowed to invoices, deadlines, and a stubborn belief that if I kept my head down long enough, the noise would thin out. I ran a small service business from a borrowed desk, the kind of work people dismiss as side hustle, until it pays rent, then debts, then silence. I learned to measure time in margins and mistakes. When something went wrong, it was mine. When something went right, I folded it away. My sister had plans people liked, graduate school brochures on the table, conversations that curved toward her future. Mine stayed practical. When relatives asked what I was doing, I said working. That was accurate and forgettable. Money arrived without drama. Then it left, credit cards first, then a loan I'd signed at 18 with a pen that shook. I paid it all off. No announcements. No posts. I was afraid of how quickly pride can turn into a chargeable offense. The house came last. A modest place with a small yard and a roof that didn't argue with the rain. I paid in cash because it made sense on paper and felt unreal everywhere else. The closing was quiet. The agent shook my hand, surprised. I sat in the empty living room and listened to the refrigerator hum. It felt less like winning than finishing a sentence. I told my parents because I had to. News travels its own way. By the next family gathering, the air had changed. Compliments landed sideways. Must be nice. You got lucky. Someone asked if I'd had help. I said no, then stopped talking. My sister didn't say much that day. She smiled the way people do when they're counting something. Later, she asked how I did it. I tried to answer honestly without sounding like a lecture. Patience, mistakes. She nodded, eyes unfocused. We hugged. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. A week later, my mother called and asked if I could come by. The kitchen table was cleared like it was expecting paperwork. The sentence arrived, fully formed. As if rehearsed without me. I had taken the life my sister deserved. It's a strange thing to be accused of theft when nothing was missing the day before. I waited for the logic to reveal itself. It didn't. The argument wandered through childhood comparisons, opportunities wasted, and a belief that success is a limited resource. I listened because interrupting would have turned it into shouting, and shouting would have made it easier to dismiss me later. When I left, my hands were steady. That surprised me. The notice arrived 2 weeks after that. Legal letterhead has a way of cooling your blood. The claim was framed as family equity, shared expectations, moral harm. Words that sounded heavy until you lifted them. I hired a lawyer because that's what adults do when the story leaves the room. From there, communication thinned to emails. I stopped explaining myself. I sent bank statements, contracts, timelines. It felt like translating a language no one wanted to learn. The mediation was scheduled on a gray morning, a conference room with water pitchers and polite chairs. My sister sat across from me, eyes on the table. She looked smaller than I remembered. I felt nothing that could be called victory. Mostly fatigue. The mediator asked for statements. My family's lawyer spoke about fairness. My lawyer slid a folder forward. Dates, numbers, independent income, taxes paid, no shared accounts, no transfers, no inheritance, just work, repeated. The authority in the room did not raise their voice. They asked a few questions. Then they said it plainly, for everyone to hear: earnings belong to the earner. Expectations are not contracts, hurt feelings are not damages. The sentence settled. The claim was dismissed. No one cried. No one apologized. The room emptied the way it fills, efficiently. Afterward, my sister walked past me without stopping. I watched her go and understood something I'd been circling for years: proximity can feel like ownership to people who haven't learned boundaries. I kept the house. I kept the business. What I lost was simpler and heavier: the belief that restraint would protect me from being misread. It doesn't. It just keeps you quiet long enough for others to tell your story for you. Now, when people ask what I do, I answer without shrinking it. Not loudly, Just accurately. I don't offer lessons. I don't apologize for outcomes that came from effort. The dignity I regained wasn't loud or satisfying, it was practical. Like a deed. Like a line item finally balanced. Sometimes, at night, I sit in the living room and listen to the refrigerator hum. It's still there, steady, undramatic. Proof that some things don't need permission to exist.